You're listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. How we doing? How we doing? Indiana Fever, strike again, take down Seattle Storm. And I mean, not only take them down, took them out. Caitlin Clark, MVP of the WNBA. I repeat, MVP of the WNBA has lifted the Indiana Fever to another level. And now the Fever players are awoke. They're woke. They're coming after you. They're going to dominate you, and they're going to do what you do best. They're going to take it away from you. The Indiana Fever put it on the Storm, 92-75. This is a different game the Indiana Fever are playing today. They are attacking teams. It's no longer that you will be able to apply your pressure. The Seattle Storm, the defense, well, guess what? The bullies of the block. That's what I call the top six. The bullies of the block. If you played on the Olympic team, I'll tell you time and time again, you're going down. You're going to get beat, okay? There's no doubt about it, and that's Caitlin Clark. I told you a long time ago. She's got a photographic memory, and it's not going to change. And when you look at it, hey, let's take a look, because this gets really good to me. You look at the Seattle Storm, you know what? They went in there, and they tried to do everything they did the last time they played them. You know what? They controlled the first 17-13. Fever took it back in the second, and then they matched them up even, and in the fourth, the Storm ran out of gas, okay? And when you look at it today, it's a collective effort. You've got everybody hitting the books. And when I say a collective effort, we're going to, right off the bat, talk about Lexi Hull. Okay, Lexi Hull's a great defender. I've been looking for her offense to come together. Today it came together. Lexi Hull, three-point shooter. Man, oh, man, my. That's another rise in the step. That's something else players got to worry about. And I'm going to tell you, this Lexi Hull, she can play basketball. There's no doubt about it. And the key to Lexi Hull, she's a big-time defender. Big-time defender. Probably just about guard any two-guard in the league. Not rushing her into the starting lineup yet because she gives us the punch on the sixth man. But we're not going to stop there because we know the freight train was running today, and the freight train was fearless. The MVP of the WNBA was running fearlessly today, had no shame for what she was doing. And I'll tell you this, one by one, you're going to get annihilated. The level of the Indiana Fever's team has taken it up a notch, okay? And when you get them all playing, I say this collectively, I'll tell you this again, in all my years of scouting, NBA scouting, looking at players, I saw this from day one when I looked at Caitlin Clark because I knew she could do things other players can't do on the basketball court. She has an NBA men's mentality at the point guard spot. That's a dangerous spot for the WNBA to compete against because here's the deal. She's never going to stop applying the pressure. Caitlin Clark applied pressure to the Storm, and the Storm folded. They folded, folks. They folded today, and you saw it on national TV. When you get a team, okay, that you wake up everybody on that team, and that's what Caitlin Clark has done. I'll make this quick. We don't even want the Rookie of the Year. We're going to give you that angelreese. We're going to give angelreese the Rookie of the Year award, okay? That's something we're going to give to you. That's going to be a gift from Caitlin Clark. You earned it, you deserved it, and you should have it. But as far as the MVP, and somebody wants to sit in front of me and they want to talk about A'ja Wilson MVP, that's an embarrassment right there. Caitlin Clark is the MVP of the WNBA. She's the MVP of marketing the WNBA. She's the MVP of lifting up every single player as a point guard should do and make every single player better. And here's where you got to look at it, folks. And here's where the media's got to look at it, and you got to look at it collectively when you make the vote. What did she do to this Indiana Fever to change it? Are the Indiana Fever playing this different basketball than they did last year? Okay, they are. Are the Las Vegas Aces back-to-back playing different basketball they did last year? No, they're plateaued. That team's not going anywhere. Is the Storm going to play different basketball for what they played last year? No, that team's plateaued. They're not going anywhere. Is the Phoenix Mercury going to play different basketball? No, that's already plateaued. And you got the Mercury, you got the Storm, and then you got the New York Liberty, Breanna Stewart. I'm telling you, they're not getting better. They're really capped out. The Indiana Fever team is a team, I'll tell you right now, that you can't put a finger on, and you're not going to be able to figure it out, because here's what you got. You got so many players that are sitting there on the Indiana Fever with so much game in the tank. And guess who's bringing it out? That's what a point guard does. I mean, if you draft a point guard, okay, and everybody talks about what's the point guard and what's the role, that's to make everybody better. That's to get everybody out of their shell. That's to put them in spots they need to be, and that's to make them believe in their game. And when you do that as a point guard, now, a couple times she had Hull over there in the corner. She had corner three, but she sent it over to Mitchell because she's actually got a clock in her head where she knows where everybody is, what their point total is, how many shots they've taken. She's drilling it down, Caitlin Clark. Folks, this is something I'm going to tell you right now that you've never seen in the 28 years of the WNBA, okay? And when you get to it, you got to accept it. You got to admit it. And the players in the WNBA, they're going to admit it, and they're going to accept it. She's just too good, okay? She's just too good. And when you get that good, here's what happens with your team. You'll take someone like Katie Lou Samuelson, didn't have a great day today, but was able to get in there, get 6 rebounds, okay? That's up in the total, grabbing 3 and 3 on the offensive end. Nia Smith, 3 points, played 20 minutes, but this is the deal. Went in there, didn't hit anything from the field, 3 of 6. 5 rebounds, 7 rebounds total, okay? Look at the turnover total. Man, I'm telling you, it's down. Okay, you talk about Boston. She took 9 shots today. Efficiency, but Boston grabbed 15 rebounds. 8 assists. 8 assists coming out of Boston. She's skipping it and finding open. Okay, that's big time. Boston ran it out at a plus 21. Then you got Mitchell shooting 10 of 19, 5 of 8 from the field. I mean, they are dialing it up, folks. They are dialing it up, and you got to see that it is being dialed up like never before. And when, like I said, when you get to Mitchell, 10 of 19, 5 of 8, you are rocking and rolling 17 plus 17 on the floor, 27 points. Caitlin Clark runs out 36 minutes, 9 of 19, 3 of 10 from the three-point, 22 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Here's the deal. 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. You got a point guard leading the team in blocks. Boston and Nia Smith got that, but from a point guard getting blocks and got it down to 5 turnovers. Here's the deal. Plus 18 while on the floor. Now, we're going to talk about the bench. The bench was electrified. You got Dantas coming in there getting 20 minutes. Okay, getting 3 of 8. Putting it down, getting 5 rebounds, and getting a block. The blocks count tremendously when you're playing this game because that means you're shutting them down on the defense. Defense dictates offense. We all know that. Defense dictates offense. When you play this game, you must understand the defense is going to dictate what you're going to do. The Seattle Storm like to apply pressure. Here's what we found out, and here's what we found out about them today. This is very, very interesting because you got this group here. You got here Christy Sides, and I told you Christy Sides going to be Coach of the Year. There ain't no doubt about that, okay? You got Caitlin Clark, MVP of the WNBA as a rookie, and Caitlin Clark's going to wind this down where the Fever going to be knocking on the door for the championship this year. There ain't no wait. There ain't no 3-year plan. It's now. And when you look at the Fever fans that were in attendance today, I'm going to tell you something. Life is beautiful when you are on the Indiana Fever. I know Gabby Williams is considering Seattle, but we just beat Seattle. Gabby Williams, you can come on in there and play for us, and we're going to definitely take you and get you that championship. We know you lost the gold, Gabby. We understand it, but we're going to put you in a position where you're going to win the WNBA championship. Nobody can dispute this. Nobody can beat this. Nobody can actually top it. And when you want to talk about the fans love Caitlin Clark. They love Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is the one that's changed this game and has moved this game to a whole nother level. It will never be fit top. This is Indiana Fever basketball. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast. We are powered up by fanatics, and I always tell you it's my opinion. But if the truth becomes fact, I've given you the facts before they happen. You understand that? It's my opinion, but if it turns to truth, I've given you the facts before it's happened. Indiana Fever basketball, they can fact that out, folks. There ain't no turning back from this. And when you get in there and you top them off, I'll tell you this, you top them off there, 92-75, and here's what I want to talk about today. Okay, I got to talk about Lexi Hull. Lexi Hull took the floor, and Lexi Hull dominated the game. Lexi Hull dominated the game today. She took down the Seattle Storm, and man, oh man, she came out of her shell. You know, sometimes you got butterflies that are flying around. They're in the cocoon. They can't get out. But today, Lexi Hull got out. Here's what the Fever did, 34 of 73, 46% coming in there from the field. 15 of 31, they rocked and rolled down on there in the three-point line. 9 of 14 came in there and got it done at the free throw line, 63%. We want a little bit higher than that. But when we get to the rest of the numbers, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, 43 rebounds. You talk about assists, this is the most important thing to winning games in the WNBA. It's your assists. You must get the assist total, and today the Fever had my 22. You talk about a 2-to-1 ratio, what did they do? 22 assists, 11 turnovers. But here's the key, and it's what wins games, and always Money Mike will tell you, you want to win basketball games in this WNBA, it comes down to steals. The Fever had 6. It comes down to blocks. Lexi Hull was a plus 20, leading everybody off the bench in 21 minutes. That's rising and shining. And let me tell you something, this Lexi Hull, man, I'm going to tell you she can play basketball. I'm just going to tell you straight up. She can play this game and play it however you want it to be played. She can shoot it, and she's got to get that confidence, and that's what we need from Lexi Hull. But Lexi Hull, man, I salute you today because you showed them what you can do. Half the time in there, you got players that can play in this league, never show what they can do. Okay, but with Lexi Hull, my. Lexi Hull, you know what? And if she was feeling it, she's a 3-and-D. Okay, for all of you guys who don't know what the 3-and-D means in the WNBA, or the same thing it means in the NBA. It means that you are the toughest defender on the team. You are going to take the toughest assignment, and then your job is to relax, walk to that corner till they find you, and you shoot threes from the three-point line. And when they do that, they are actually executing. This has come down to execution, folks. And when you got a point guard, here's the deal. You start ranking the point guards. You can't rank a better point guard this year. Okay, Chelsea Gray, I give it to you. Okay, I give it to you. You got some point guards out there, but they already have teams. They already have teams. The Fever have the same players that they had last year. Let's not kid ourselves. When you have the same players on the team that you have last year, something had to change. If there's a mouse in the house or if there's a rat that gets in the roof, you know what happens after that? Everybody starts scattering and running. And guess what? That's what happened. Now, the Fever, here's the deal. I'll put it to you just the way it is. The Fever are running to their spots, folks. They are running to their spots. And Christy Sides has gotten to the point where she can relax, okay? Every WNBA coach wants to do this, but here's the deal. With Christy Sides, you got Caitlin-Clark, okay? You got Lexi Hull. You got Tim Hayes not even back, and that's going to punch everyone else in the mouth even more, okay? But what Christy Sides has done, man, you got to relax and let it happen and let Caitlin-Clark do what she does. Caitlin-Clark can do things that Christy Sides just doesn't know, and Christy Sides had to finally admit it herself. She's sitting out there, oh, my God, some of these sweep-in passes, some of the looks that she gave, man, you got Indiana Fever basketball, and you got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy it. You have to enjoy it because the Indiana Fever are lighting up the league. You know, the fan base, you know what I saw today as they were there? The Indiana Fever fan base is boiling over. Okay, the ticket prices are through the roof. Okay, the price to get of admission to see Caitlin-Clark has went up, and sky and high. Christy Sides has figured out her role. Okay, my role is just to facilitate, stay out of the way. That's what you got to do. When you find that role, who was good at that? Phil Jackson. When he had Michael Jordan, he realized Michael could do it. He just relaxed and he took it into a philosophy of sharing information. That's where these women are. They have got the players now. They're running 8 deep in the total, and they're taking you down at Christie sides one by one. I repeat, Angel Reese, we'll give you the Rookie of the Year. We have no problem with doing that because that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to win the WNBA MVP. That's the thing. WNBA MVP. Okay? And if you want to deny Caitlin Clark, that so be it. Okay? Because you denied her of the Olympic team. There's no doubt about it. You've denied her of actually when she came in the league. And if you want to deny her now, that's okay. Because that's what you've always done. But here, it gets to the point where the fans know, okay? The NBA general managers know. The NBA head coaches know, okay? And the NBA point guards know. And you'll all hear them say the same thing. Caitlin Clark can handle that, and she's an NBA point guard. Okay, she has a men's mentality on that floor. Now, is Money Mike saying she could play in the WNBA? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the mentality that she takes to court and the way she looks at an opponent, she's looking to destroy you. She has no mercy on that court, okay? And they beat her down, okay? They talked all they wanted to do. They said everything they want. ESPN, she's not this, she's not that. You know what? One thing I'll tell you this, all the WNBA former players are not scouts, okay? The WNBA former players are not scouts. Cheryl Swoops does not scout, okay, for an NBA team. None of these women scout for NBA teams. And when you have to scout for an NBA team and you're up there, you got to get it done, okay? You got to go up to the Nike Global Championships. You got to watch that international ball, and you got to pick players that are going to succeed in the WNBA. None of these people who are on there are drafting or scouting or doing anything like that. They are just giving their opinion, which they rightfully have to do, and I respect it. But I go deeper than that because I've been in the grassroots and I've scouted them out, and I scout them out for the NBA. Okay, that's the only goal you can have when you're in grassroots, to find players that can make the NBA. There can be circumstances, 1 or 2 get through the cracks, 1 or 2 don't make it, okay? But it doesn't matter. The single goal is to get to the WNBA. Now, when you look at this and you go here, let me tell you, you're going to have to open up the checkbook, okay? Indiana Fever, you're going to have to open up the checkbook for this one, because this one here, man, oh, man, you know what? This one going to cost you a lot of money. Here's the thing, the Fever and everything's going to change because a lot of these contracts got to get ripped up. They've got to get ripped up, and here's the reason why. You're making too much money. You're making too much money. The WNBA is not losing money, and here's the deal with the new TV contract and all the other things that are going on, all the other sponsors coming in. Kelsey Mitchell, you're going to get a big fat paycheck. And this one here, you know what, I commend her. I've been riding on Mitchell all year, but Mitchell has come on board, okay? Mitchell has realized it. It's coming to you. She knows what she's got to do. She's playing defense. She's rocking and rolling on the court, and this one's going to cost you some money, okay? I'm just going to tell you, you're not going to get her for cheap. And every WNBA player out there, I'm going to tell you now, if you don't know, you don't know. Caitlin Clark is the MVP. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. We are powered up by Fanatics. And, folks, we don't ever sugarcoat it with you. We're going to bring it right to you so that you can really see the game the way it goes. And, folks, I come from the media, so for me, it's not an embarrassment moment at all. It's just me doing what I always did. Like I told you, I went down there to the Midwest, right around Indiana. I covered that NFC Championship game, Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl MVP, and also covered the Raiders, the 49ers, and the Sacramento Kings. So that's through Sac Cultural Hub, Chico Enterprise Record. So, folks, you're actually talking to somebody. I've done this for a long time. I don't sugarcoat it. I just give you the facts and the truth and what I have known. The Indiana Fever are rising to the top. Caitlin Clark is the MVP. There's no doubt about it. I don't care how you sugarcoat it. I don't care how you look at it. You know what? You got the Ferrari comes out the barn, and when the Ferrari comes out, the Ferrari's going to shine, and there's no stopping it now. It's over. Okay, I can tell you this. The Indiana Fever, you're no longer going to be able to apply pressure. If the Storm can't apply pressure on you, No one else can apply pressure. The Storm are the best defensive team in the league. And guess what? They're all going down one by one by one. If you were on that Olympic team, I will tell you this, you're going down one by one by one. You are not going to beat Caitlin Clark. You left her off it. I don't care if you're the Minnesota Lynx, and I don't care if you're Reeves. Reeves, get your team ready because Caitlin Clark's coming to see you, and there's nothing you can do about it, okay? There's nothing. Connecticut Sun, there's nothing you can do about it. WNBA is fantastic. WNBA is outstanding. And guess what? Barstool made $100,000 bet. That's right. Barstool owner says $100,000 that Caitlin Clark, guess what? Wins the WNBA championship. From day one, I told you this was coming. It's my opinion, but if it turns to truth, I've given you the facts before it's happened. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast, and the Indiana Fever are the hottest ticket in the WNBA. I repeat, the Indiana Fever are the hottest ticket in the WNBA. All things are possible to those who believe. The kids love it. They're excited. The fans love it. They're traveling. And guys, everybody else has got to finally reach a conclusion. Caitlin Clark's the MVP. There's no doubt about it. And the WNBA better be on notice because she's coming after that championship. All things are possible to those who believe. We're going to get better and better to take you higher and higher. And this is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast, and we're powered up by Fanatics. Make sure you check the subscription. We got Fanatic gear for you. You can click an order, but we'll see you soon because the story is just getting hot.